Hello, my fellow visionaries, and welcome to the Royal Kingdom. So it is the weekend. I'm pretty excited. It's a little break from the charts, and it's a time to just kind of catch my breath. So I still journal, I still do my Royal Diary journals. And here's today's episode. This is what I'm thinking. All right, let's get into it. Every kingdom is shaped not only by its ruler, but also by those who faithfully serve the crown. Within these walls live individuals of remarkable character. Some strengthen the kingdom, others test it. Every one of them serves a purpose. Welcome to the royal kingdom. Good morning, Lord Percy. Today is Saturday, a day of reflection for me. I love these days because the market is closed, I'm relaxed, and I have quality time to think. That is something I don't take for granted. In the past, I was so busy with, let's call it everything. I never had time to process my thoughts. I always was in go mode. Now I have time to pray, to plan, to execute, to review, to thank God for the process, and to relax and repeat. This is amazing. I'm loving this season. It's taking a while to get here, but now I just kept thinking, to whom much is given, much is required. I am grateful to be among those who have made it thus far. Now, let's get to reflecting on the week of trading and see what the kingdom has learned. Lord Percy, there's four things that stood out to me as I was reviewing this week. I need to incorporate them into the royal rules of engagement. Number one, I have to come to the market and do a fresh analysis. So I need to incorporate at least 15 minutes in before I even consider a trade. That will allow Casey and I time to go through the royal checklist calmly, with clear heads, without pressure, and without FOMO. Sir Stewy can write those 15 minutes into the Queen's schedule every morning. That also means that when I sit down at the charts, I don't just take the first setup that presents itself. That's like coming to a stream to fish. And because I see guppies, I start splashing around in the water, trying to catch them when I actually came to the stream to catch salmon. Ah, I've got to wait for the market to develop. It has to develop the move that is worth me getting wet. Now, this leads to number two. I must have a vision. Every queen must have a vision. I can't just sit at the charts and watch. This is not a movie theater. I need to know what I would like to do when the market presents something that coincides with my analysis. And then I shall wait for it. Number three, I think this is important to know that I don't need every fish in the stream. My appetite is not that big anyway. My goal is only maybe 2 to 3 good trades for the week. And that is actually based on how I trade. It fits my temperament and my availability, I must say, without allowing me to become fatigued from the charts or addicted to the charts. I don't want to spend my whole day watching the charts. Now, I have heard of some people trading 3 times per year. That is preposterous. Maybe. I'd probably lose interest and take on another adventure if I had to wait months for my setup. Now, I am embarrassed to say, I remember when I started trading and I would trade on my demo account. Lord Percy, I would take 10 to 20 trades a day. Don't judge me. I already know that's so Ricky. Anyway, thank God I have evolved. Lastly, number 4, I've added something to Casey's checklist. I will take the time to ask myself why I should not take the trade that prepares in front of me. It's almost like playing chess with myself. I see the board from my perspective, but when I turn the board around from the opponent's view, I can see it from a different vantage point. Good morning, Your Majesty. The Chamber of Council feels especially peaceful this morning. The candles are burning low, the markets are silent, and Lord Percy has arrived with his notebook already open. Sir Stewy is standing nearby with his pocket watch, ready to amend the Queen's schedule. This week's Parliament has been extraordinarily productive. What's interesting isn't that you found 4 new rules, it's where they came from. None of them came from a winning trade. None of them came from a losing trade. They came from observing yourself. That is how kingdoms become stable. Now, let's review Parliament's weekly findings. Royal Decree number 1. Every trading day begins with a fresh analysis. Not yesterday's charts, not overnight's opinions, not Friday's bias, but fresh analysis. 15 uninterrupted minutes. Sir Stewy, take care of that. No trades, no predictions, no urgency, just mere observation. Your Majesty, Sir Stewy has already adjusted next week's royal schedule. The Queen attends the Chamber of Council for fresh analysis with the keeper of the checklist. Done. No one disturbs that meeting, not Ricky, not FOMO, not even opportunity. Because if opportunity cannot wait 15 minutes, it probably wasn't worthy of the Queen anyway. Now, for Royal Decree number 2, a queen does not watch the markets. She waits for her vision to appear. I think this might be the biggest lesson of the week. You wrote, don't just sit at the charts and watch. This is not a movie theater. Exactly, Your Majesty. Most traders become spectators. Professional traders become hunters. Hunters do not wander in the forest hoping something happens. They already know what tracks they're looking for. Your fishing analogy is even stronger. You said, I came to catch salmon. That sentence deserves to live inside the kingdom. Because here's what Ricky hears. There's movement. Here's what Queen Victoria hears. That isn't the fish I came for. Those are 2 completely different kingdoms. Next, Royal Decree number 3. The kingdom only requires 2 to 3 worthy fish each week. This one made me smile because it quietly destroys greed. Think about it. If the kingdom only needs 2 or 3 excellent trades, then 99% of the market instantly loses its power over you. Suddenly, you don't need excitement. You don't need action. You don't need revenge. You don't need to be right. You simply need your fish. The rest may swim happily by. That's someone else's dinner. And then Royal Decree number 4. Before entering battle, argue against yourself. Your Majesty, this is something exceptional. Many traders ask, why should I take this trade? But almost nobody asks, why should I not? That's what investigators do. That's what auditors do. That's what detectives do. And that's what you spent decades becoming. You are bringing your investigative skills into trading. You're no longer building a case for the trade. You're also trying to prove yourself wrong. If your thesis survives your own cross examination, only then does it deserve capital. This isn't pessimism, that's due diligence. Now, something else I noted. You wrote something that I don't even think you realized. You said, I finally have time to process my thoughts. That sentence stopped me because I remember the Queen. We've been getting to know her over the Royal Diaries. She has spoken often about being in go mode, always solving, always fixing, always carrying responsibility, investigations, insurance, financial, family, birds, work, trading for years. Your mind was rewarded for reacting, but now it's finally being rewarded for reflecting. That is not laziness, that is maturity. Reflection is where wisdom compounds. Now, one gentle challenge. There is only one thing I would refine. You said, I only need 2 to 3 good trades for the week. I would ask Parliament to change one word, not good trades, instead, well-governed trades. Because a good trade can still be poorly executed and make money. Likewise, a perfectly executed trade can lose. The kingdom has already declared a perfectly executed loss deserves silence. So perhaps the weekly objective shouldn't be measured by profitable fish. It should be measured by fish caught according to the royal constitution. That subtle change protects you from letting outcomes redefine success. For Lord Percy's closing notes for Parliament, this week the kingdom did not discover a new indicator. It did not discover a secret pattern. It did not even discover a better entry. Instead, it discovered something much rarer. To begin every day with a fresh analysis, to protect 15 uninterrupted minutes in the Chamber of Council, to know exactly which fish the kingdom seeks. Wait for the market to reveal that vision. Cross-examine every trade before granting permission. And then measure success by governance, not by profit. Those are constitutional changes, and constitutions change kingdoms far more than tactics ever will. As Parliament adjourns, Sir Stewy closes his pocket watch with a soft click. The keeper of the checklist carefully adds 4 new pages to the royal ledger. Outside, the bell tower gives a single gentle chime, not as a warning, but as a quiet acknowledgement that the kingdom has grown a little wiser this week. Lord Percy rises, bows, and offers one final thought. Your Majesty, there was a time when you believed discipline meant forcing yourself to trade. This week, You discover that discipline often means allowing yourself not to. A ruler who knows how to wait is far more dangerous than one who cannot sit still. And as the chamber grows quiet, the question carved above Parliament remains unchanged. Today, did you govern yourself? Okay, so this week was absolutely fun. It was my first week with this 4-week challenge. Um, I took 2 losses, so that was not so great, but I feel like I'm getting more settled or balanced when I take losses. Of course, no one wants them, but what I do is actually factor them in that whatever my win rate is, and it's normally on the high 60s. I don't want to say 70s. We're still testing that and collecting data. But let's say in the mid to high 60s, just for even numbers, we'll say 70, just for even numbers. That means out of every 10 trades that I take, 3 are expected to be losses. So if I count those in, then it shouldn't be a surprise that the market does what it wants to do. So that is taking away some of the sting when a losing trade comes because it's expected. So I feel like this week was definitely a good week. I love journaling. It allowed me to kind of see some of those little cracks where if I was just going through day after day after day, I wouldn't have noticed the cracks. But now that I'm noticing them, I'm fine tuning them. And that feels really good because it feels like I'm not just going through a checklist, but I'm also checking what feels right for me, what works with my schedule. Because what works for my schedule might not work for John Doe's schedule. Who knows? Because everyone's schedule and responsibilities are different, whatever schedule we work, whatever other obligations we have, all of that could be different. So I am fine tuning what works for me. And as you guys can see, I have a whole crew, my whole inner circle who helps me from Lord Percy to Sir Stewy to Casey, the keeper of the checklist, even Reckless Ricky, which is the impulsive, immature part of me. But again, I have hope for him that he will mature. So it's been fun doing this. It is helping me fine tune my trading. And my goal is really to hold my with this 4-week challenge. Again, it's not so much to make profit, although I'll be surprised to see how it ends. But my goal is to number one, hold myself accountable because if I'm putting this out for everyone to see, then that I had to think about for a little while. Do I really want to do this? But I said, you know what? I need the accountability. I need to take this serious. So that's number one. Number two is, as I mentioned before, it's allowing me to see what works from my system, what doesn't, and maybe even if I have any old thoughts that keep jumping in there or any personality things like being impulsive. So it's really, really, I've loved this first week. It's been really good. So I am happy to start next week. But before we get to next week, we do have Sunday's daily journal. So we will be back tomorrow for the Royal Diaries. And thank you all for joining, for coming on this journey with me. So see you tomorrow.